Hi, I'm Big Cal and welcome to my world. This is just not really a proper video like I normally do. Obviously I'm not downstairs with my set, which is essentially a table and a plain backdrop for now. Just sat in a room, even just got the webcam, not even set up the camera, because I hopefully don't want to ramble on too long, although I do have a tendency to do so when I'm unscripted. And 99.9% of the time I'm unscripted because I can't remember scripts, and plus not really something I could script for this video. So it has been a while since I've really done anything, especially video related, with wrestling. The only current thing that gets posted on my blog, bigcalsworld.co.uk and wrestlingview.co.uk, is my pay-per-view rambles every Sunday, when I remember. I finally finished writing all of those, a whole decade of them, 2000 to 2009, and once every Sunday I post one, and we're almost at the end of 2008 with the post, so there's 2009 to go, and then I'll do a big video at the end. But yeah, aside from that, there hasn't really been anything wrestling related from me, and the reason being, wrestling kinda sucks right now. I just don't care. Weekly Wrestling Roundup, my original main wrestling show, that got 100 episodes. You can check those out on wrestlingview.co.uk. That's essentially the wrestling archive for all of my content. I stopped doing those because I just couldn't sit through wrestling anymore. Raw is the only show I really watch, and even then I maybe sit through the 3-hour Raw and it takes me about 10 minutes maximum. I skip through everything. SmackDown, I don't even remember the last time I saw SmackDown. Main Event and Superstars, I'm surprised they're still going. TNA, oh good God no, just stay the hell away from TNA. Ring of Honor, I've never been a big fan of it since, well, essentially since the main big stars that they had originally left. Once you had Samoa Joe staying in TNA, Nigel McGuinness went to TNA and then unfortunately had to retire. Brian Danielson, he's now in WWE sort of, and who knows what's going on with him. AJ Styles left, and TNA, Christopher Daniels and all this went to TNA. Christopher Daniels, I think, is back with Ring of Honor, but the newer stars that they brought in to replace the old ones just never connected with me, and I don't care. So doing a weekly version of a wrestling show is just kind of impossible right now because I don't care. I don't watch it. It's boring as shit. Literally the only people right now I care about on the roster are The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, both of which are part-timers, and for the most part have been battling against each other, so it's not like they've had separate matches on the shows, and I'm interested in multiple matches. Pretty much just whatever Lesnar and Undertaker are doing, and that's it. So that brings me to the main reason I'm doing this video, is that a couple of days ago, an event in Dublin, I believe, a house show while they're touring over here in the UK, Seth Rollins got injured. Let's see, what was it? He tore his ACL, MCL and medial meniscus in his right leg, knee, wherever. I don't understand where all these things are. And well, was the reigning WWE World Heavyweight Champion, set to go into Survivor Series to defend against Roman Reigns, and was apparently going to be a big part leading into WrestleMania 32. And that's done. That's over with now. Seth is going to be out for at least 6 months. They reckon 6 to 9 months. You never know with these things. Could be a bit longer. I doubt it'll be any shorter, to be honest. Which means that essentially Seth's going to miss WrestleMania, which is a huge shame for Seth because he's worked so hard, he's done so well, got the title, he's had a long title reign, and he at least deserved to lose the belt in a match and not have to vacate it like this. Plus, missing out on WrestleMania 32 is going to be a really big pain in the ass, not just because it's WrestleMania, but because WWE wanted WrestleMania 32 to literally be the biggest WrestleMania ever. In terms of attendance, with the arena they're going to, the stadium or whatever, I think 120,000 they're aiming for or something insane. And WrestleMania bonuses, a lot of times, at least in the past, were usually more for certain guys than what they would actually get guaranteed on the contract for a full year. So WrestleMania Bonus has been involved in the show, got them a good deal of money, so Seth's going to miss out on that. So for a guy that's worked so hard for so long in WWE with the title and missing out on WrestleMania, not very good for him. It sucks. But on the other end of the spectrum sort of thing, the reason I'm doing this video again is that while Seth Rollins' injury is awful for Seth Rollins, there's no denying that. Even if you don't like the guy as a wrestler or anything, anyone getting injured in the business is never a good thing. You know, even the guys I dislike the most, I don't necessarily want to see them get injured, except maybe Chavo Guerrero. But anyway, Seth Rollins has been the man in the company since WrestleMania, really, when he won the belt, and the shows have been terrible with him as champion. Now, obviously, these days, you know, with ratings and things, people are like, oh, he's the champion. If the ratings are low, it's his fault. The ratings are high, it's potentially his fault, but could also be these other things. They don't like, you know, they're always weird. If it's bad, it's the blame on the champion. If they're good, it's everything else. When in actual fact, I don't think the ratings being good have ever been a result of one guy for an extraordinarily long time in wrestling. It's always been the fact that the entire show has been relatively good. They've had a bunch of stars on there. They're doing good things with everyone. Lately, they're doing fuck all with everyone. And Seth, as champion, has been boring as fuck. We've got those 20-minute long opening promos with the Authority and Seth, and they're the same every week, and so boring and dull. And then his title matches, as great a wrestler as Seth Rollins is, has he had any good matches as champion on pay-per-view? Some probably would point to one of the Cena matches. I was never a fan. You know, then he's had to work with guys like Sting and Kane, so he just couldn't expect anything from those anyway. The best match, in my opinion, he's been involved with since he was champion was the one against Lesnar, and you know, that had a pretty crappy ending, and really the match was only good because it's fun seeing Brock maul people for a while. Yeah, so the show has been kind of dull with Seth as champion, and now he's no longer champion. And what that does is leave a huge gap in WWE creative and how the shows are going to be structured. So hopefully, if we look at the positive of Seth being injured, he's out, there's nothing we can do about that. How can we stop the ratings to continuing to go on a downslide with Seth out? Let's try and change something. We've been given a chance to change something. We didn't necessarily want it in that fashion with Seth getting injured, but it's happened. So now WWE have the chance to go big and to finally, hopefully, get their act together and do something good on their shows. We have the upcoming tournament for the championship leading into Survivor Series. Now, Roman Reigns is likely the guy going to win because he was apparently going to win the title at Survivor Series anyway. But they could at least make the shows good again by having good wrestling matches on the show, and all these matches can mean something because they're a tournament. They're leading up to a potential championship for the winner. And whoever's going to win this is going to get the title. So qualifying matches on Raw between two mid-carders are no longer just going to be a random match between wrestler A and wrestler B. Now they're going to be fighting for something. They're not involved in a feud or anything per se, but they're fighting for something. It's competition. They want to be the best. They want to win, go on, advance in the tournament and win the title. And let's face it, matches on Raw, even with guys that I used to like, Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Dean Ambrose. These are guys that normally I would have watched, but the last year or so I just don't care. It doesn't matter if they're facing each other, I just don't care because there's no reason to care. It doesn't matter why they're facing each other, because it doesn't matter that they are facing each other because there's no reason for them to face each other. At least with the tournament we'll get some interest in matches that would normally not have any. They can have a great match and it can have meaning behind it because they want to win the tournament. So that's something. And then what they could also do here is not have Roman Reigns win the title, put it on someone else that we might not expect, and that might gain some new interest in fans. Like, oh shit, that guy's the champion now, he won his Survivor Series, let's see what happens on Raw. Well, who's he going to face as his first challenger? Well, what's he going to do with the belt now? It might finally interest fans again. I've actually seen in the last few days that a lot of people are interested in seeing Raw on Monday night because of this. Not saying, yeah, Seth Rollins is injured, fuck yeah, I'm going to watch Raw again. It's, well, Seth's injured now, they're going to do this tournament, what the fuck's going to happen? It was in the tournament, let's watch Raw and find out what happens. There's interest again. I said it's not nice the way that it's happened, but it's there, so WWE need to capitalise on the interest that is now there. You know, it's happened, roll with it. That's just what I want to see happen. So that's really all I wanted to get off my chest, talking about Seth Rollins is injured, it sucks, but WWE now have an opportunity with potentially more fans watching Raw this week, especially more than usual, because they're interested in seeing what happens. If they can capitalise on this added interest, they might actually go somewhere. It might force them to be more creative and more intelligent with the writing, and we might get something new and different and fresh, because the Authority and Seth Rollins was boring as fuck and it got old really fast. So let's just hope that things can really pick up again, and then when Seth is healthy and he can come back next year sometime, he can come back and go after the title. It can be something different. He's probably going to be a babyface when he comes back. It'll put a new spin on his character as a singles guy, as a babyface, and we might again get something interesting out of that. So I'm Big Cal, thanks for watching, I'll see you again next time.